So we pull like 10 pounds out of the car. So the car goes 51 with a 6 or something like that. We pull 10 pounds out of it, and it goes a 49 with a 2 or something like that. And it's like, throw it away. We're done. And we literally turned in like this 51 with a 2. It was the first pass of the day. It was 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, there was downtime and stuff like that. And I'm as red as this shirt, and so is Brian. I've had one water, a Mountain Dew, and a hot dog to eat all day. Like that.
Welcome to episode 120 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show, presented by Summit Racing. All right, so in this segment, again, and we are going to be hanging out with Ryan up there. He is like 15 minutes from the Numidia Dragway. So during Drag Week 2025, we are going to do something at his shop. I don't know if we'll do food and snacks or if we'll do some kind of sticker if somebody wants to stop by. We're going to do something while we're up there. It'll be the first time I've gotten to hang out with him at his shop. We hung out with him on 6 Summer. He rode with the Prices, I think, Latchwind 4. 6 Summer 2024. So it'd be cool to hang out with him and see him and hang out. But I want to talk about some of the repairs, but I want to talk about like parking lot beers. I want to talk about like just this will be our kind of closing segment here. Let's just kind of have some fun, tell some fun stories from all the events that you guys have been on.
Well, man, where do you start?
Yeah, right. That's probably the hardest part.
That's it. I'll jump into it.
I know, our first hot rod drag week in 22, we were doing pretty good. And I think it was the third night, the hotel we were at, we ran into these Aussies that were there. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I've been to Australia and certainly know how, well, for one, just crazy in general those guys are. But man, they wouldn't let us go to bed that night. Like, I mean, we're like, we got to get up early and go racing. We're doing good here. Like, we want to keep going. And man, they wouldn't let us go. And
I paid them off, Mark.
Yeah.
Strategic.
That. Yeah. But man, we had a great time. I mean, we probably drank a whole lot more than we should have. I tried to stay a little more on the level-headed side because I had to drive, but no, I mean, that was certainly a real good time we had for sure. And then they found us at the racetrack the next day and they're like, "Where are you guys staying tonight?"
You're like,
And I will say we probably lied to them because I was like, we can't do that again. I mean, like, we just can't do that again. So, but that was a pretty good time. I mean, we had a blast, but we definitely stayed out way too late and partook probably a little more than we should have. But I'll tell you, it was a good time. And there was probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 more people around us too that were all just, and these guys, these Aussies were just winding everybody up. I mean, it was a pretty good time. But yeah, we had to settle down and focus on racing.
Boring.
Yeah, I had to go and drink. I had to change the oil in my intercooler, so I had to get back to working on the car.
Right. Yeah, parking lot beers are kind of where it's at. We have a ton of fun. That's probably Eric and I's hardest part about Dragon Drives is like we get to the hotel. That's time for second shift for us. We got to get in and edit videos and photos and make posts and tell stories and all that kind of stuff. So we try and limit our parking lot beers experience, but there have been times where Eric and I have had a really good time for the weekend or for the week.
Well, lately we haven't seen a lot of people at the last couple events we've been at in the parking lot. So
yeah, Heads Up Hustle did a good job of having people hanging out outside, but yeah, that really kind of has been a problem. Maybe we need to correct that on Drag Week. Tim, if you're still listening, let's try and correct that a little bit. But yeah, that's been I think everybody's been. You do several events a year, it becomes tough to stay up real late at night, especially like Mark was saying. If you're competitive in the class, man, it's hard to stay out till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and then perform the next day, especially by the time you get to day 3 or 4.
Yeah, the first day or two is not necessarily that bad, but once you get day 3, day 4, I mean, it gets tiring. I think I'm going to flip the script though one of these years. I'm going to do like just be a part of Sick Ward or something like that. Take one of my cars and just drive it, and I'm going to sabotage somebody in the class. I'm going to take them out and just get them rip roaring drunk or something like that one night. So I'm looking for payoffs. Anybody that wants me to take care of anybody, just let me know, and I can make sure that
I'll sling this bitch.
Buy somebody a bunch of beer or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Jan Haas here saying Midnight Waffle House run. For sure. That is the other struggle, man. There's not any Waffle Houses, I think, in that part of the country, right, for Drag Week.
Hard to believe there's not a Waffle House somewhere, but up there, probably not.
Surprised you don't have the locations memorized yet, Mike.
We're going to get to a few new ones this time for sure.
So I'm not sure where we're at in stories. Can I share one?
Yes, please.
So specifically to parking lot beers. So I think so. We did Drop the Hammer last year and this year, which is Carl Stansel's race.
Performabuilt is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performabuilt Transmissions, the goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performabuilt doesn't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That's why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performabuilt.
And last year we were at the Edmore Inn, which is just up the road, like 25 minutes from Brian's house. And I was like, oh, we can like save on a hotel and like stay at your house. And he's like, I kind of want to stay at the hotel. And I'm like, all right, cool. And it was cool because one, I feel like regional events have a little bit less stress associated with them. And we were the biggest thing happening in Edmore, like these 60 something cars all parked at the same hotel, and so it was really cool to like walk around and get razzed by people and razz other people and all that kind of stuff. And then this year I said to Brian, I said, so in Narcs, you'll know this because Midwest Drag Racing was at Martin. So we set up our generator with like a 32-inch flat screen and put the PDRA race, and in conjunction with Midwest Drag Series, we had that set up running, streaming, so people could watch the race at Martin while we were sitting at the hotel. So to me, that was a lot of fun. And we had 25 people that held around the front of Brian's car because we had a flat screen watching racing while we were in the process of racing. That was a lot of fun, just because again, it was very like low key and chill. It wasn't, the drive is shorter. It's a 3-day deal. So I feel like that's like the cool thing about the regional stuff is that, again, the drives are a pinch shorter in most cases, and you don't have 300 people. You've got 60 to 150, which you mean even 150 starts to push that envelope. But the 60 to 80 people that you can all get to the same hotel, and you're in, like I said, Edmore, Michigan, which there's not a lot going on.
There's one hotel.
There's one hotel, and there's about 300 foot of burnout in front of the ice cream stand, thanks to this guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's down by the ice cream shop.
My foot slipped.
Yeah, one of his foot slipped off the brake.
I'm just glad I asked those people.
Mike Narks was grabbing the CO2 bottle to turn the switch on.
Yeah, it was a pretty good time.
To Jay's point, I think when it starts to get 9-10 o'clock or whatever, I think people are turning in. I think the key to hanging out in the parking lot is you got to have a little bit of time. Guys want to get to bed and get some rest. So when it starts to get midnight, there's not a lot of guys hanging out in the hotel. I feel like they're trying to get rest and they had a long day. And so when you can get there at 6-7 o'clock at night, there's a lot better chance of hanging out. And that's what our experience in the ones we've done. The national events have the longer drives, and if you have any delays or you're the last guy at the track trying to go 850 like we are, you end up at the hotel at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. And there's just a few diehards in the parking lot.
And I think that's the other thing too, is like, Steve, you mentioned earlier, like, you're going there to place and to win, right? And so I get up earlier at Drag and Drive events than I do for my normal job, like by 2 hours. This guy, he's up early. Yeah. This guy's up early, but I'm like, oh, it's 7:20. Like, I should get out of bed so I can make it to work by 8. And like, we're up at 5:15 every morning. That's our job for the week, is to perform and to get there when we need to and all those types of things. And so it's a preparedness thing. And so it's not really a vacation.
Far from it.
Yeah. And I think like sick week, I feel, isn't maybe as much, but like sick summer, there's 2 short drive days, I think. And so that's nice because like you do what's the town that we've gone to that kind of shuts the town down for us and stuff, and they do a party, and those short drive days were Rock Falls. So when you have like 125 or 140 mile drive day, it's like, cool, I can, even if I leave the track at 3 o'clock, I'm getting there by 6:30. To Brian's point. And like it helps so much because you feel like you can have, thanks Derek, it feels like you can have a couple hours of like chill time before it's like I need to go to bed, I need to get back into my routine and my regimen, because it's no different than the car goes down the track. We try and be as consistent as we can with our routine. That's probably the engineer in me and the OCD in him. That's just how we roll. And the other people on the screen right now are nodding their heads because they're thinking the same thing, right? It's just,
you're no different than Dustin and I. We're pretty regimented. We want to get to sleep. If you ever notice, we're actually not early to the track. We try to take a little bit more time in the morning to get into things and not rush to the track and sit in line and all that kind of stuff. We wait till the line's gone and we'll get there later, but it's a grind. Drag week, I don't think is conducive to, the parking lot parties and good times as some of the other events are. And a lot of it depends on the class you're running as well. If you're running our class and you want to place good, you're going to have to work at it. And that means on and off the track and between between tracks and everything else. You got to be fresh, you got to be focused, and you got to be ready, you got to be alert.
Right. So what I'm hearing is a 12-second car that's not going to be in any competitive in any class would be fun. That would be the way to go.
You just got a woman done in 850. That's all. You could have fun with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 days in a row.
I had both sides of the thing. I had several one and dones, and I also had several run the wheels off of it until it wouldn't run anymore, and fix it and repair it and drive till midnight and whatever. So, because it can happen both ways real quick. Sometimes on the same event.
Mark, what time did you guys get out of there the second day? It was like 9:30 or something, right?
In Indy, we were leaving and people were pulling in. I mean, it was crazy because I think they switched up the run order or something that day too, and I think we were the first ones out. And so we made a run at like 9 o'clock, went a 50 with a 5 or whatever, and pulled back in, and we're like, all right, swap the tires over and put the trailer on it, and we're driving out, and everybody's looking at us like, where are you guys going? We're like, we're done. We're gonna I think we got to the next place at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. Like, I mean, it was crazy. We went and had
made our
dinner that night.
Pass at 2 o'clock that afternoon.
Yeah.
Brian's like, he's like, they went one and done twice. Like, what is that? Like,
dude,
he's like, where is that in our program?
Yeah,
I remember that conversation with Brian too, because I mean, I told Mark before, I said, man, you had us scratching our heads, because like, holy shit, goes in.
How many of us on 2 days in a row have made 7 runs and then turned in our first pass of the day?
Oh,
at like an
8:52. Cool. We're the only ones.
Yeah, like an 8:52 that you ran, and then you couldn't do better, and ended up turning that pass in after it's 3 o'clock over here.
Yeah. How many passes? We're good for 7 passes at Indy too. So Indy's our nemesis.
Indy's been tough on us.
So 2 years ago,
Indy's our nemesis.
Yep.
2 or 3 years ago at Indy, we made 6 passes. I think it was the last year before we started pulling a trailer. So we had the little buggy carrier thing. And at the end of the day, I was this red. It was red as my shirt, actually, because I had been out in the sun all day long. And the car went like a 51 with an 8 near the end of the day. And like Loans knows Brian from Land Speed Racing. And so we're like hot lapping the car, right? And so Brian, at that point, we were carrying extra weight and we were filling stuff. And Brian's like, we don't have time to change the tune-up. Like, let's just pull some weight out of it, right? So we pull like 10 pounds out of the car. So the car goes 51 with a 6 or something like that. We pull 10 pounds out of it and it goes a 49 with a 2 or something like that. And it's like, throw it away. We're done. And we literally turned in like this 51 with a 2. That was the first pass of the day. It was 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, there was downtime and stuff like that. And I'm as red as this shirt. And so is Brian. I've had 1 water, a Mountain Dew, and a hot dog to eat all day. Like that has been my caloric intake, and it was a nightmare. And Brian's like, we're turning the first pass, aren't we? I'm like, yep. That's like the toughest ones to swallow.
Yeah.
You don't know. We didn't have a good pass to the last pass that day because we were right there with you in the staging lanes on like pass 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And we hadn't had a good pass all day. I mean, in the 52s, I think we finally got one at the very end. It was lucky.
Yep.
But I don't know what it is about Indy, but we've been there twice and have really struggled with that track and had great runs the day before and the day after at the other tracks. But you get to Indy and you chase the thing. You chase the car quite a bit.
Yeah, and you'd expect an NHRA national event track wouldn't do that, but we've struggled spinning there.
So that was 23, and then 24 last year we went 50 with a 6 on day 1 at Trails, and then Brian's car was 2 thou quicker to the 1,000 foot last year on the first pass, and we were like the 4th pair down, and it was. So we went 50 with a 6 at Trails, and then like I said, we were 2 thou, I think, quicker to the 1,000 foot, and the car slowed like 3.5 or 4 mile an hour and went like a 52 with a 1. And I was like, if the car didn't spin down track, like that was a 50 with a 2 or a 50 with a 1. And then guess what? Like we go like 52 with a, like the best pass we turned in was like that pass, I think. Again, here it is, Indy returning the first pass of the day. I mean, it's almost like whatever we run on the first pass, we just turn in because we've done it 4 times.
Yeah.
And just save ourselves the insanity of the day. Because, Steve, you mentioned earlier, like you're trying to keep up with the weather, keep up with the track going away. You're trying to keep up with these variables that, you know, in a lot of cases you don't have control over.
Yep. And then you shoot yourself in the foot. That picture behind me, that's Indy in 21 when Dad forgot to stiffen the shocks up on the first pass. We had just run the perfect number the day before at Byron, and I came in with the same exact tune-up, and we got there. And even though we have a checkoff sheet in the trunk, we always ask each other, "Did you go down the sheet?" But we didn't, and I forgot to reset the shocks, and that thing lifted. And that's actually, it was probably a foot higher than that at 300 feet.
Oh yeah,
carrying away out there. He's manually shifting that car too, so it didn't have an air shifter in it at the time either. So it was way out there. And then the rest of the day was a train wreck. We couldn't figure out what was going on. Why did it do that? Maybe it's the track is that good or whatever. So I'm changing the tune-up, not thinking that I didn't mess with the shocks. So we made like 2 other passes, and I realized, oh crap, you know, I didn't get the shock set. And then so we reset the shocks, and then of course you're in the afternoon weather, and it's a train wreck from there. So
it's greasy.
that's where the discipline of the routine comes in, and then we've got that checkoff sheet now, and both of us go down it because we turn the car around really fast. Because like I told you, you'll see us come in later than anybody else, and we'll park in the back 40. It doesn't matter because we're going to park in the staging lanes all day. Our trailer's really nothing for us. We try to turn around fast, and it's easy to miss something. So we follow a really tight routine, and it works.
What was the move going to Steve and Dustin? Did y'all ever drive without a trailer?
No, we had a small Harbor Freight trailer with a couple fuel jugs and our tires on it, but no, we never had without a trailer. When we stepped up to the bigger trailer in 22, I think it was, that's the way to go. An enclosed trailer, you can put all your stuff in there. You can turn the car around really fast. We carry 6 jugs of fuel in the trailer and 15 gallons on the car, so we can get quite a ways down the road. You know, it's just nice to have someplace to put all your stuff. Our Harbor Freight trailer, everything was on the open. We had a job box on the front of it, but you're always worrying about people cutting all the cables and stealing their stuff.
And weather too, like rain. Before we had a trailer, if it rained, all of our stuff was yard sailed, our luggage, it was just
Eric doesn't know anything about wet clothes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've left our luggage. We've left our luggage in the pits because we had no place to put it with the Harbor Freight trailer. Try to throw a tarp over it or something if it looks like it's going to rain. So the enclosed trailer is the way to go anymore. It's
the pros outweigh the cons for sure. From when we
haven't really noticed any cons about it, even though it's heavy. We don't see anything in the way the car drives or overheats or anything like that. It runs cool.
Yeah, the only cons we have is like, hotel parking. You have to have a spot. Yeah. When we had a buggy carrier, we could park in a regular parking spot, and turning around was obviously not a problem. So,
and I think the car might be a couple hundred RPM different at 70. Towing it, there's some more wind drag, but
you notice that, but it hasn't hurt anything. So
no.
Well, and I think like the cool thing from like media side for like Eric and I is that you end up like everybody's now up in their trailer game. So it's like it's a whole thing to modify now. You got the car on point. Now it's like time to modify the trailer and build out this entire thing you got going on. I know Jay's worked a bunch on their trailer building stuff. And
really my dad has, because he's retired and he used to be a woodworker. And so I'm like, I need this shelf over here to do this. And so, and very much like my background in lean manufacturing, I'm like, it's kind of the opposite. It's like first in, first out. Well, I guess that's FIFO, isn't it? First in, first out. We are like the canopy goes in last, and it's the first thing that comes out. So it's like we have shade and rain coverage until the very end, and then it's the first thing that we get. We get shade and rain coverage. We've got lights and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the debut of the trailer was Sick Week 23, and literally it was just like, hey, how much all the stuff that we used to throw in the car, we're going to throw in the trailer.
Yeah, I bought that trailer from Travis
Fothi.
He has that black station wagon with a blower.
Yeah.
And it was just a blank canvas. It had nothing. Good deal, but it had no shelves.
And it leaked.
Yeah, so it's been good. We've got it pretty rock solid now, but the first couple of years were just improving it and making it pack better. And
And there were three things, like we talk about me being as red as this shirt at Indy. We didn't have a cooler, we didn't have a canopy, and all 290 pounds of me, did not have a scooter.
Oh.
So strategic parking.
Preach.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we need to be as close to station lanes as possible because I could ride up with you, but I'm walking back. Right.
Mhm.
And then since then, it's like, oh, well, we could add another blower fan and we could add a generator. And so the scope creep a little bit. But those are all things now that are integrated into like our package. And
So much better.
it's so much better.
Now you just have to make sure you don't leave the scooter at a track and go
Oh
home.
boy, here we go.
Who's done that?
Good thing you
rode the
got
scooter
friends in high
at-
places.
I left my scooter, you guys, at Byron during Sixth Summer,
at
and
the award ceremony.
Eric White went to go get it like a week later, and it was parked right where I left it. No one even by the bleachers. Like, no one touched it.
Brian's, you're not going to believe this. And I'm like, probably won't. But what happened?
It did have two flat tires, so it wasn't really theft intriguing for anybody to steal it with the two flat tires.
Yeah, that was also the 290-pound guy exceeding the weight limit of the
Yeah,
scooter.
Yeah.
But we have solid tires now. We're in great shape.
Yeah, I've got to get my scooter working. Man, I
That's a game changer.
all year. You know what I mean? I'm over it, especially with what we're fixing to come up on. So, well, what else, guys? I feel like we haven't told enough stories. What are we forgetting? What should we talk about as one last story as we wrap this up? Let's talk food, because obviously you guys know I love Waffle House. And I was just looking a few minutes ago. There are no Waffle Houses on our general area up there, so sadly we won't be buying dinner up there. But do you pack? Do you try and find something? Are you gas station? What's your general consensus?
So I'm going to offer a quick version of my story. So the night that we did the transmission at Bristol, we rolled into a gas station. We're on like alt fuels trying to find E85. And what did I eat? I grabbed something out of like the cooler, and Brian's like, that is going to tear you up. And it was like 1 a.m, and we hadn't had dinner yet. It was like a buffalo chicken something or other.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, poink off the rack into the scanning the barcode. So there's my food story there we can laugh about. But
Yeah, I can only imagine you were 284 pounds the next day.
And wouldn't roll his window down, so I had to smell that. Yeah.
Dustin went through that in 23 at
Yeah.
on the way to Bristol. Yeah, he likes to pack a little beef jerky with him, and we went to Buc-ee's and he bought some jerky at Buc-ee's, and it did not agree with him. We were pulling over a couple of times. The next day, if we hadn't been having such a great week, man, he would have been in bad spirits. I think Mike, you even interviewed him, and he was a mess.
Yeah.
I threw up in front of somebody's house. I don't know who.
I just bailed off the road into somebody's front yard, and he at like 10 o'clock at night,
oh dang.
Pull over.
waiting to get shot.
They're like, I think that car's kind of cool, but there's a dude yakking out there.
It was like 10 at night, too.
Yeah, even better.
And I think we were only like 5 miles from the hotel in Bristol. We weren't very far. And he goes, I'm not going to make it.
Oh man.
That's tough. And the heat, that year was pretty hot in the middle of the day. By nighttime, it wasn't bad. But yeah,
Does anybody run air conditioning? Mark, do you run AC? No.
I got 240 air.
Yeah.
2 windows, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Steve doesn't know.
No, and that car's so aero that nothing comes in it. So it can get pretty warm in there.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have the Arkansas air conditioning. Like we can vent windows, slip back. But
Yeah, the Nova has those quarter windows that are pretty nice.
But beyond that, we roll by drag drivers, and we're like, oh, their windows are up, and it's 85 degrees. I'm like, sons of
Jerks.
guns. Yeah, sons of guns or jerks is a polite way to put it. I definitely on the headsets are saying something different.
Yeah.
It's
I
one
don't
of the
know if
benefits
it
of
should be
driving
legal.
at night.
I don't know if he runs it during the Dragon drives, but Tim Flanders has AC on his
Yeah,
Mustang.
Tim's got Mustang, or
I'm assuming he probably has the.
Oh,
build on.
yeah.
One of the
I
few
would
850
assume.
cars that probably has it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he hasn't. We haven't had him on the show. We need to have him on the show.
Yeah.
Leading
Yeah,
up.
he's-
Do you know if he's doing drag week?
I don't believe so.
No.
I would say no.
Yeah, I don't
I
think so.
don't think he's done
I
the
think he
dragging.
made a comment somewhere the other day that he wasn't going to be there.
I think
But
his
see,
car
you
is
talk
not-
about somebody like Dustin was manually shifting that 400 at the time. Like to this day, Tim manually shifts his 400 and locks up his overdrive. He's got gear unders on it.
Yeah.
So
Man,
is
I
Mark.
still manually shift my car too. I don't lock up the overdrive, but I still manually shift my car.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
when this
consistency
car
thing,
was
right?
NA, I
Like,
was locking up the overdrive in it because I ran a 487 gear in it, and when it was NA, we raced it there. I would lock up the overdrive in it when I drove it. Didn't really make
yeah,
much
I
of a
mean,
difference.
those are all things that are like time dependent things that are like, is this happening when I expect it to? You know?
Is that muscle
Yeah.
memory or just you know what to look for? Like I can't imagine how quick that stuff is coming up, and then you're like, oh, I'm at 342 feet, time for third gear, or whatever like that.
I find myself, I mean, I got a shift light and everything like that in the car, but honestly, after you make enough runs, you just
Yeah.
you're
It's by
listening to it
feel
and
and
you're
by
putting it
ear.
in there, and
Yep.
yeah, it's
That's what I think too.
That Johnson Snowcyber talking about he can have his windows down, it'd be 40 degrees and it's still hot in that car. It's an oven. Race car go, "Rah!" It's so loud. It was so loud. Now, what's his name? John Doherty has the exhaust on his big block Nova. And no way I want to ride in that stuff. That's what's cool to me about like small block power adders. Like a lot of times, it's a turbo small block. Like it's not some crazy naturally aspirated, got to have an inch of lift to do what you do. Turbos work that. So the next question is, why do we not see more nitrous cars? And then we'll finish the show up in this class.
oh, I mean,
I think
I
it's
think,
consistency.
I mean,
I think
and you
it'd
just
be really hard to dial a nitrous car in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make them consistent, but the engine, the way that it has to be designed, specifically around compression ratio, camshaft design, stuff like that, it's way less conducive to being able to drive,
Yeah.
nicely.
I think it's the drivability piece too.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because typically, I mean, I've had some nitrous cars over the years, and I mean, you can dial them in pretty tight. I mean, we used to run a lot of like small, like super small tire stuff, like 26.85 tire, 8th mile stuff, and my car at that time it'd go 490s, 50s on the 26.85 tire, and I mean, we could rinse and repeat within 100th every single time down the racetrack as long as we didn't do something dumb. But the downside is yeah, you got typically a lot larger camshaft, more lift, more
Mhm.
duration. It's harder on valve springs. It's typically a higher compression too, because I mean, nitrous definitely wants a little more compression. Certainly, if you're starting to lean on it harder. So yeah, that's certainly why turbo stuff is nice, because I mean, like the cam in my car, it's like 230 degrees at 50, and it's got just a little over 600 lift. So I mean, it's not a big camshaft. And it just, especially in a 427 cubic inch engine, I mean, that's a pretty small cam. I mean, like Steve said earlier, shift the thing at 6,700 RPM, just don't have to rev it up. Now,
Mhm.
it will make more power if, my combination, at least anyways, because of the turbos. I mean, when I go into go fast mode, we'll shift it at like 72, 7,300 or something, and it still makes good power. But even with that small lift cam and all that kind of stuff, it's still easy on parts.
Right.
So I think that's the big difference between a nitrous deal and a turbocharged deal.
And I'd agree.
Well,
Like, I think that you can drive the consistency back down by having nitrous, where atmospheric stuff doesn't matter, because I'm getting back to this point. Like, I'm spraying enough to get back to here, but like the longevity of that engine on the street, I think, is the problematic piece of it. Because somebody says I have to run 110 all the time, or something thereabouts. I mean, I think you have to like partner nitrous power adder cars with NA cars, and then look at the failure modes in the NA cars that want to try and make the trip, and it's similar.
Interesting.
Does a
And
nitrous car
like,
move
and
with
Mark said,
changing
it's
weather?
valve train generally is the failure mode.
Yeah, nitrous car is not. A nitrous car is similar to a turbocharged car as far as weather changes go, for
Is
sure.
it?
Like it's what a nitrous engine is really likes or doesn't like is humidity. If they typically like humidity just because it helps keep the detonation down on the engine. But
Sure.
if it gets really dry, a nitrous engine can get pretty cranky, and the tune-up window gets really, really small. I know that's what we always face. Like when I ran my car, we go to like Vegas or something like that, where it's super dry, like 7% humidity or something like that.
It's a dry heat.
It's just but it's just begging to eat a piston. I mean, it's just like when there's no water in the air, it doesn't help cool it down, and so
Mhm.
yeah, the
Yep.
tuning window gets really tight with a nitrous deal too.
Interesting. Yeah, and Jan Haas are saying carrying bottles and runs per bottle is a pain too. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. But the key comment here is one I'm excited about. He says, I think Brian and Jay have me ready to make the change just because he's been an NA guy for a long time, and I've just been trying, man. Please put a turbo in that car, and
Come on, Stoney, get it done.
hopefully you will. So we'll see.
So
Y'all
we'll
want to say thanks. I want to say thanks for coming on tonight. Appreciate you spending 2.5 hours with us here. I want to say thanks to everybody in the comments for asking you guys questions, making comments about what you're talking about, and all that kind of cool stuff too. So it sounds like we're definitely going to see Dustin and Steve at Drag Week. We're going to see Brian and Jay at Drag Week. The plan for the next couple of weeks is just Drag Week coverage. I feel like this is a big turning point event. We're moving into what's crazy is like third decade of drag and drive racing. Like this event will be kind of the kickoff to its 20th anniversary. All the stuff that's come before. You've seen insane growth the last 4 years. We're not even scratching the surface. I think we're really fixing to see a huge growth in drag and drive and just people putting their cars on the street. I think there's been a lot of people that have had race-only cars that have enjoyed hanging out in their toter homes and stuff that are fixing to get these things out and do some driving. And yeah, I appreciate you guys being on and telling stories, hopefully motivating some of those folks. I know there's a guy in here earlier talking about he's excited for his first event. So appreciate you guys telling the stories.
There's a lot of cars out there can run in our class that they need to push a little harder and come join us. There's a lot of guys that show up, I think, in our class that are just kind of laying back a little bit. They need to step it up, come have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I feel that way. I feel there's always that another 10 guys back there to kind of they don't want to push it so hard, but they should.
Yeah.
It's pretty rewarding to get a podium in this class.
Well, yeah, especially at Drag Week. I mean, this class has been very competitive the last several years, but it's going to be real tight now because there's only one 850 class at Drag Week. Really, and I guess there's 4, let's see, big block and small block. So I mean, there's a lot that goes on, but this class here, I love it. Y'all know I do, and I can't wait to hang out.
All right.
Awesome. Yep, we're going to throw you guys backstage. Hang out for just a minute. Let us finish the show up, and then we'll talk backstage for probably another 20 or 30 minutes. So, all right, thanks again, guys.
50 or 60.
Thank you.
Awesome, dude. What a great night, man. This was a ton of fun, and again, I appreciate those guys. And stay here, Dustin. Where the hell is Dustin on the screen here? Sorry. I'm trying to take you off. All right. Anyways, thanks a bunch, guys. We appreciate it. The next episode is going to be crazy. We have Jim Greenleaf and Tommy Dupree of Summit Racing are going to be on. And I'm also going to see if I can get one other guest early on in the show to do some Drag Week conversations. But Tommy and Jim will be a good interview because one, Summit Racing, obviously just the scope of stuff they do for the community of automotive enthusiasts, but then also those guys are racing at Drag Week. So Tommy's bringing his truck. Jim's going to be his co-pilot again. So this should be pretty fun for that. But yeah, I'm ready, dude. I know you're not coming to Drag Week. I know you're probably tired of hearing me talking about it, but we're getting close, man. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it should be good. Obviously, it's been a busy year, and obviously just can't make that one happen. But I'm excited for you guys to go and cover it and see everything about it.
Yep. All right, sir. Well, lead us out, man.
All right. Again, thank you everybody that has been on here tonight. We've had a ton of viewers, ton of comments, so we appreciate each and every one of you, every one of our race car friends. Thank you for being here tonight. And our sponsors, obviously, we can't do the traveling and all that stuff, camera equipment, everything we do. Obviously, our sponsors are what make that happen. So if you guys are doing some shopping, check out Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO, Performa-Built Transmission, Car Change 3D, PowerTube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. We will see you guys on the next episode.
Sweet. See you.